Welcome into the Traction Reaction Podcast. I'm Jeff Orloski, joined with Steve Zautke. We're going to be talking some IndyCar series at Road America, Steve. First of all, what a gorgeous weekend out there. I don't think the weather could get any more perfect for early June out at Road America. What did you think of the racing out there?
Well, the weather, I said, was a 9.5. I said,
what could have made it better?
I said the only way it would make it a 10 if there were bikini-clad girls feeding us grapes.
Oh, the way it should be, yeah.
Yeah, so if that would have happened, then it would have been 10. But a 9, I'm very happy with a 9.5. But I tell you what, second race in a row, trouble for Team Penske. And to be honest, you won't hear this on the broadcast or anything, but there's a little bit of snickering going on pit road. Some of the other teams are like, all right, some of this crap that happens to us all the time is happening to you for finally. So they've been running into a bit of a rough pass. Here we are at second half of June. Team Penske has not won a race yet this year.
Crazy.
It is. It really is. And Joseph Newgarden, well, let's face it, he dominated the race. Then he had a late yellow with Ed Jones spinning. They get the green flag with 2 laps to go, and he's passed by friend of the show Alex Palou in the team Chip Ganassi car, and they won their 3rd race in a row at Road America. So a popular win. It's fun listening. I was actually played fanboy for the race and actually watched the race in turn 5. It's probably the first time in, I don't even know, 15, 20 years that I actually watched a race flag to flag from one area. But where I was sitting is probably going to be one of the prime seats for the NASCAR event. Turn 5, at the bottom of the hill, you watch the cars come in and come out. And if you look over to the backside, you can see them go into turn 14. But you also have a video board, so you can still see the action around the track. Fantastic seats. I was there with Guy Hobbs, who unfortunately had some audio and video troubles yesterday, so we weren't able to do this. So you're pinch hitting for Guy Hobbs this weekend. We'll have him on next weekend. I love Road America, obviously, but between the weather and the racing, you got to love it. Plus, I was with the Vintage Racing Group there. We had 20 some cars, and fans are coming through. We had Allenzer Jr. was there, and Ari Leindijk stopped in, a couple other people. Some of the team guys were wandering in through our area looking at the car, so it was pretty cool.
How many total mortgage payments did you spend at Siebken's?
Siebken's is a good time, very good time. We watched the Bucks game there Saturday night, a video. Thankfully, I don't sound too drunk. It's I guess I can really say that I watched the Game 7 Bucks game with Mario Andretti, because Mario was standing just a few feet from me.
That's awesome.
It's good.
That's
time.
Awesome.
They were shocked that they were sitting in Siebken's, enjoying themselves, and nobody was bothering them. And they asked the people, they're like, "What's going on?" He says, "This is Siebken's. There's no favorites here. Everybody enjoys themselves, and they let the people." They let the people alone when they want to be left alone. So,
yeah, that's awesome. What did you notice different about Road America this year than in years past, like upgrades and stuff like that have been done at the track?
Every year they try and improve it, and they've added some outside turn 5 where the vintage cars were. They actually added in some more tarmac paved area and widened that area. If you drive in through the main gate and go up the hill on your right, they added in some more paved area. They have also added in some bathrooms, really nice permanent bathrooms in the paddock area. So 2 sets of bathrooms. Looks good. And they just improve it a little bit every year. And you had probably 75,000 people up there. It was a huge crowd, and everybody was enjoying themselves.
Yeah, that's awesome. And you got to love the tracks that sit there and, bring the investment right back to the fan experience. So tell me about what else went up there this weekend. I know you had some appearances and all that, and I know you're really involved with the vintage. What were your other takeaways from the weekend?
Well, just so many of them. It was just our friend, a friend of the show, David Hobbs, is up there selling books with Bert Levy. And once again, Julie Sobranik and the group up there at the gift store up at Road America. Once again, the place was packed. I mean, but one of the reasons why is they got cool stuff. How many times have we been at a race, Jeff, and you look at some T-shirts or you look at some hats and you're going, no, not for me.
No, I'd rather spend that money on beer.
St. John's is now a barbecue place right in the center of the paddock. However, there was a rumor that they didn't have ice cream anymore. That is not true. They still have the ice cream. They have the soft serve ice cream they had where I'm in the IndyCar paddock and this guy walks up, one of the mechanics on the other car next to us, and he's got this vanilla orange thing. He goes, this guy's about 60. He's like, oh my God, this is so good. You guys got to get one. It was a soft serve vanilla and dreamsicle. Let's go get some ice cream.
That's awesome.
Good
Now
time.
I heard that you met one of the biggest celebrities in the world.
Oh, you mean the world foosball champion?
Yeah.
I met a couple people at Siebken's. I met the world foosball champion. I think that was Saturday night, and then also I met some the Volkswagen people. They always parked the Volkswagens up there, and roller girl. There's some girl roller skates up there, and she was hot.
So was Roller Girl in that movie.
It could have been, but let's get serious though. One of the coolest things that happened. I don't know if you've seen the video of Sam Schmidt. Sam Schmidt, of course, was paralyzed in a racing crash in Orlando at the Orlando track in 2000. He walked for the first time in 21 years with it's Arrow, which is part of Team McLaren Arrow with Schmidt Peterson. It's amazing some of the stuff they can do. And Arrow, of course, they did a couple thing at Indianapolis, I think 2 years ago, where Sam Schmidt was able to drive a Corvette. That was so cool. And now they worked up a exoskeleton type thing that he has the ability to walk. And so his daughter got married and he was able to dance with her at the wedding. And needless to say, there wasn't a dry eye in the place when you see that. And
that's awesome.
The pessimistic person may look at this and go, well, he had some assistance because there's a guy that helps a little bit with maybe like a little set of handlebars on the back to help guide him and whatnot. This is just basically the first step. So who knows, in 10 or 15 years, what kind of system this will be developed into. And it may not be unusual for a paraplegic, much less a quadriplegic, being able not necessarily to carry on a normal life, but to be able to at least take care of themselves a little bit better and ambulate better than they can now, obviously. So, we read the books and that when we were kids, we were supposed to have flying cars. We're supposed to be at Mars by now and exploring the space. Well, we're not doing that, but if we can do stuff like this and make people's lives better, it's all worth it.
Yeah, absolutely. That's fantastic. I bet there was not a dry eye anywhere, and anybody who's got the problem with a guy giving a little assistance is a Scrooge, shall we say, since I don't want to get colorful on the podcast here.
Right. We got, of course, so IndyCar was done, big crowd, and now there is start for July 4th weekend with NASCAR. Like, it's going to be a different deal. For a lot of fans, it's going to be their first time up there. I got to preach patience for you guys. Just be patient. It's going to be a very neat deal. Road America is on it. They're working on things to ease the crowd and whatnot, crowd control. IndyCar weekend, most of those people have been up there before. They know the shortcuts. They kind of have their own ways of doing things. They've been doing these things and camping and doing what for many, many years. You're going to have a lot of people. This is their first time up at the track. So it's going to be a learning experience, but I have all my faith in the group up at Road America, a very professional organization, and it's going to be a very, very cool event. And what a way to celebrate the 4th of July weekend, the NASCAR back in Wisconsin, Jeff.
Yeah, that's awesome. Cannot wait for that. And like you said, be nice, take it slow. You're not more important than anybody. So there's no need to rush around like a wild person there. And don't be a Richard. And that's about it. You do that, you should have a great time over the 4th of July weekend watching NASCAR.
Yeah, and the ratings were good for Nashville. Ratings were also good for Road America. It was the most watched race on NBC and the NBC Sports Network in 5 years. Ratings are good for F1. And once again, we talked about this last week about the SRX series on CBS. They also had strong ratings too. So they were at Knoxville this weekend on the dirt. So everybody coming out of COVID or that, you're going to see a bump in attendance at a lot of things, because there's a few things that maybe people and organizations may have jumped the gun, canceled those 4th of July fireworks in your local community or whatnot. But there's other things to do. I think people are eager to do them and get out to, whether it's a baseball game or whatever, or a race, you're going to see a bump. And
absolutely. I know how that goes. I bought so many concert tickets in the last couple of weeks. So I hope attendance isn't crazy, because while I love people and obviously concerts and everything, I'm not as wild as I used to be. So the shoulder to shoulder, mosh pit craziness that used to happen in a young Pipebomb's life doesn't occur anymore. But I cannot wait to get out to some shows.
we'll talk to you again next week. Any final words? You have the final word on this episode.
My final word. Now write this down, because it's going to be just amazing. Goodbye.